And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Shaping Success. Wasn't that a great intro? Brought to you by John Hutton with JH Visuals. What a great intro. I love that new logo. I love working with him. He's such a great guy. Check out our last episode that we have with him. It's the very last episode that I did of 2020, episode number 73, called Visualizing the Future with John Hutton. He's such a great guy. You know, talked about some of the struggles that he had getting into filmmaking, and now that he's chasing and following his dreams, it's such a great thing. Before we get started here, do me a big favor. If you are listening to this on the podcast, please like, share, and review it. Help me to grow the show. Help me to get more listeners. We ended the year on a very high note. I'm going to look at the stats here real quick because I'm very proud of what happened here. We ended up with 3,352 downloads for the total season. We're starting into season 2. This is going to be the first episode that we talk about that. You know, a lot of interesting things going on in my house. I'm currently quarantined. My wife came down with COVID last Sunday. She was tested and she tested positive. My whole family ended up having it. And I am still waiting for the second test back. I tested negative the first time, haven't tested. I'm waiting. I went to a different place to have a different test done because they say that short one, the rapid test, is not as accurate. I felt like I had some symptoms. COVID's a little different. It's weird for every single person. My wife had some pretty serious flu symptoms. And then yesterday, my daughter she needed to have some procedures done. So we had to test her on Saturday. And she has had zero symptoms, but is positive for it. So it's kind of crazy. My wife had a lot of flu-like symptoms. My rest of my family member, it's basically like a sinus infection, which I feel like I have right now. And obviously, every time someone's got COVID, it's on a heightened type of, senses. Like you're like, oh, I sneezed. Oh, I coughed. I have a sore throat, this and that, which are all symptoms of COVID, but you don't really notice that stuff. Typically for me, I've had sinus surgery, so I have some other issues that I've dealt with before. So I have sinus infections quite often. I get allergy shots because I'm allergic to everything. And so it's interesting to see, just how many of those things will make you feel like you have it. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of wrap up 2020. We had some great guests, lots of episodes. I went and I readjusted the way that they look in the podcast platform. I numbered every single one of them. The really cool thing about it through that is that I found out that I had done 73 episodes total out of all of them. And by far, the most popular ones have been with Mark Simo, who is the founder of Trust Me Vodka. And he was such a great guest in talking about breaking down brands and things like that. The next highest downloads was with Duncan Sorso of Oh My Apparel. Another great episode. We have some really good guests coming on. I've already got my first 3 lined up for the next recording session. I usually record 4 at a time, which I have been recording 4 at a time. Now the problem is I record on Saturday. I'm going to have to decide if I'm going to record at my house or the studio because depending on whether I have COVID or not, I can't go in the studio. I don't want to put those guys through that, and so we'll just do it from my house, which is always okay. It turns out decent most of the time. Sometimes we have a little few technical issues when we're not there because they have a really fast server, and they can do a little bit more things there than they can versus over the VMix call on the live show. So, those are the kind of the great things that are going forward. I'm looking forward to the New Year's. On Saturday, like I said, I'll record some new episodes. One of my guests is an Olympic fencer, which is going to be pretty awesome. Another person, I just was on their podcast. You should check it out. If you haven't heard Living a Dream with Curveball, check it out. I'll link it in the show notes so you can check out the interview that I had. It tells more of my story. It was the first time actually being interviewed on a podcast and talk about what I'm doing and where things are going for me. I also was on another podcast, my friend Jhae's Hard Parking Podcast. Again, we did a rental car review for my trip to Arizona, which was awesome. I always enjoyed being on podcasts. I don't get invited on a lot, but I have lots of guests on mine too. Some of them are podcasters, some of them do invite me on there. And it's always a fun experience to go to talk to someone and kind of tell my story because most of the time what's going on with my episodes is I am interviewing other people and trying to bring their positive mindset to you, talk about their struggles and how they found their success and what that is to them. So you don't always get from me. But again, I'm looking forward to what season 2 will bring. A lot of exciting things going on. Very interesting. I just put out a new form that I have that I like to send out to people who want to be a guest on the show. I've also reached out to a couple people that I'm hoping that I will get on here. Mark Simo's kind of opened me up to some new avenues, which is nice. And one of the things that I have really took away from this whole thing is connection. Connection is very important. I think I've talked about it in multiple episodes, but you really need to work on connecting with people and thinking about the way that you interact with other people. And, when I interviewed Curveball, or when Curveball interviewed me, DJ Curveball, he asked me what my definition of success was, which, I've never really shared that with a bunch of people, but really what my definition of success is helping other people to be successful. That's really what it is. And I feel like through my lifetime, one of those things that has made that more apparent is the fact that people are able to be better no matter what. We always have this mentality that if someone knows more than me, they're going to take what's mine. And I think that it should be the opposite of that. I think that the pie is huge. There's plenty of pieces for everyone to get. And if we can help other people be successful, then that is the greatest thing that we can do. The connection part of that is helping other people to be better. I've had some great interactions with a few people that I talk to, which I kind of call my mastermind group. That's really what they are. We talk on a daily basis. Jhae has helped me so much with the sound of my podcast, with my mic discipline, which needs to get better, with editing, using the new audio editing format, things like that. And it's always been helpful to be able to help that, Brian, my friend Brian, who's got the Warriors collection, awesome thing. We're working on a clothing line. That's a connection that we made together. He's going to help me. He's going to build my shirts for me, and I'm going to be able to sell those. Just people bouncing ideas off of each other all the time. So I implore you to go out and find a group, find some people who have like-minded mentalities, because those people are going to help you to grow. And that's what it is. It's about growth, growing every single day. If you are a podcaster and you need some help and you want a little help with that, if you need some information, I'm always willing to help. Reach out to me. I'll help you with your sound. If I can't help you, I know someone who can. There's always people out there that I'm connected with who are willing to help no matter what. So a couple good things that we got going on here. I'm working on buying a domain. That costs money, and I'm trying to decide how to do it, but the domain that I want costs about $2,100. I'm going to be able to get that money and create a podcasting network so that I can have other podcasters be on my network. I have an awesome opportunity if you want to be on a live show like I am. I can give you a discounted price to create your own live show. People will help you do that. It costs money, but they'll edit it for you. They'll give you the stuff that you need. So making those connections is something that you always need to be striving for. That's the biggest takeaway that I've had from this year. And I'm going to continue to grow and connect with people because I think that that's the best thing that can ever happen to me. Again, if you are listening this is the first time you're listening to this is a season 2 episode 1, but it's going to be listed as episode 74. It's going to be season 2, episode 74, because I'm just going to have a running total of how many episodes that I've done so you can see that. And we're going to get going. It's 2021. We've got a whole new year in front of us. We've got more people to reach, more people to help. If you have a great story or you know someone who has a great story, who's gone through something, who's created success that way, let me know, hit me up. My link will be in the show notes. You can find me on Instagram at wes.tankersley and check out my PodSpout link. It'll take you to everywhere you need to go. I hope that you are having a great start to the year. I hope that this is reaching you in good health. We're going to get through this COVID crap. We're going to continue to grow every single day. So until next time, I challenge you to find the shape of your success.